This is Public Safety Building Committee meeting for July 19th, 2018, at 12:05 p.m. Town Hall, 139 Main Street, Raleigh. Just be advised that the meeting is being recorded for both digitally and voice-wise, video and voice, for future use on Raleigh TV. We're not on live at the moment. And I'll call the meeting to order. So with that said, first item on the discussion is the paving the entrance to Ayers Park. And basically, we've asked the contractor to do is the entrance to Ayers Park. They're required to fix some of the breakup of hot top right by 133, but we've asked them as an add-on to the project to pave in about 10 feet beyond the island, so that it'll be a clean, neat entrance to go along with obviously the fire station entrance and the police station. The whole thing will be landscaped and have a proper entrance to the park and go in far enough so that traffic coming in and out of the field will be able to get on and off 133 without a problem, and hopefully it'll minimize the impact of anything on 133. So it's going to be the same pavement as we use for the fire department and the police department driveways. It'll be the base coat plus whatever the top coat is. And I don't recall what the price was. Did we get a price on that?
We haven't got a
price, but
I know we issued the proposal request to the
but
contractor, we haven't got a price.
we had put in for it, so it's part of the proposal, and it's just something that needs to be done. So
Is 10 feet going to be enough?
well, what it boils down to is 10 feet beyond the island. So what it boils down to is we're not trying to get into paving the parking lot.
Yeah. Well, I was just
But
thinking
that'll
a little bit more.
that'll give it enough. I'm mainly interested in getting beyond the island so that we don't break up the island, and like you go over there now where the trucks are coming in and out of one, it starts to break down the pavement on the road. We don't want to do that, so we just threw an estimate out there of 10 feet beyond, and
Oh.
Yeah, we actually have a drawing. I'll send you a copy.
yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah, it's beyond the island, and the island has got to be like 20 or 30 feet long. Too.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Yeah, I was thinking 10
it's the
feet from
front.
the road.
It's the front end.
Yeah, no, so
that's-
the island is the length of the island, which what you say, 20 feet, it's 20 or 30 feet or whatever,
Right,
and then 10
that'd be
feet
fine.
beyond that. Yeah, so we've made sure that it's where the fence is. It's probably going to go a little. The construction site will go over a little bit, so there'll be enough width there for people to get in and out of without having major problems.
Okay.
Next item is the upgrade of the dispatch center. Now, we've discussed this extensively at a previous meeting, and we agreed at that last meeting to up to $400,000 that we would okay for. And Craig, you got
Let me give you what I have here. I've got a couple copies of this.
just for
just so you have it.
TV purposes, Neil from CMS, he's our owner's project manager, OPM. We have Greg Corral from our architect, and of course the fire chief's here, and Joe and I and Debbie. So just so people understand who's talking, who's saying what. So go ahead, Greg. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Just to give you a quick snapshot of technology, where we are right now. We have two proposals in for dispatch, one from TCS and one from Allcom. These are things that the chief had initiated a while ago, and we have the numbers in. The Allcom proposal is looking pretty good. Chick is now reviewing that for thoroughness. We are also soliciting another proposal from an outfit called Cybercom. They've been around for a long time, and so we'll have three proposals in for that. The Allcom proposal, the total for basically soup to nuts for all of the technology and dispatch furniture and what have you that goes in the dispatch room is about $251,000.
That's Allcom?
That's all. That's Allcom. TCS, we have, I think it's, I'll have to check the number on TCS.
That's soup to nuts, you said, right? Furniture, everything?
And and I'll have to let you know a little bit more about TCS. We have a detailed proposal in from TCS as well. I've got they were at 223,000, but there are some other things that aren't included.
Okay.
The chief met with that outfit and would rather we didn't deal with them. Apparently and we can get into the details. of
Okay,
that.
yeah,
So
that's fine.
his preference would be to go with Allcom
Oh.
at this point, or Cybercom, depending upon how their numbers
Yeah,
go.
once we get all three proposals in, just as a way of explanation, so people understand if they're tuning in for the first time. In other words, the overall project bid came in at about $1.2 million under what we allocated. And when we asked Greg to do the drawings for the buildings, obviously do up the proposals for bidding, we set aside updating the communication center only because we assumed that under the bidding, we may not have enough money to do that. And it's obviously for the future, for the brand-new buildings, our intent was, if we could, to include a center, and this is going to be a state-of-the-art center that should do us for the next 20, 30 years, with upgrades as they go along, obviously. But so just so people understand, this is not it's not an add-on. It's unexpected, it's mainly as a result of the fact that we have enough money in the bid, in the bond bill to pay for this, and it's something we kind of wanted to do all along. It's just we had left it out in case we didn't want to cut back on anything else in the building if that was necessary. So
The other technology items that we have here that our technology consultant is negotiating now with different companies. I have copies of the RFPs that have been issued to them in this package.
yeah,
There are the two other main components of the technology in the project are premise cabling, and that's all of the low voltage wiring that goes in both buildings, and the security systems, closed circuit TV cameras, electrically actuated door locks with card keys and so forth. All that stuff are separate, and those are we have line items in the estimate for them, so it's not like they're unanticipated costs, but we're actually getting bona fide costs for those things. And as I said, those proposals are the RFPs for them are in here as well. We should have hard numbers within the next week or two for them.
okay. The chief wanted the fire chief was asking, I know we've talked about it at our committee meetings, on some additional switches or some technical stuff in the fire station door openers and things like that.
The main door, so that they could be buzzed in.
So-
We're gonna be low-tech on the rest of the doors.
Right, so that's all part of the technology, or is it?
That's included as part of the technology. We've asked the contractor for an ad to put the physical lock, the electric lock, on that door, and then this scope will cover the low voltage wiring and the button and the thing that actually controls that.
Okay.
Will be part of this package.
How many cameras, outside cameras, are we gonna
Oh, I
have?
was afraid you were going to ask me that. I'd have to double check before I
Okay.
put it out there on TV.
Right, okay.
I'm not exactly sure.
I mean, the buildings will be pretty well secured as far as
It's-
from pretty much
It's
all
more,
four sides.
it's more than 12.
Yeah, okay.
So that's kind of where we are with that.
So where are we on the implementation of that with the contract? In other words, with fairly soon, I think that the time was coming up when we need, because part of that doesn't mean, we're talking this, in addition, we need to rent a trailer for temporary, the dispatch center needs to be moved to a trailer temporarily while this work is being conducted. Have we got any prices or anything on that as far as, yes?
The NARAC cache has a communications trailer and tower.
Who's this?
The Northeast Regional,
Okay.
it's the consortium where we've got a lot of Homeland Security grants
Okay, yep.
over the years. They have a trailer that's set up, it's 30 feet long, it is a portable tower that is available for it. And there's a cost per day that we use it. I have to go down to Beverly tomorrow for the storm recovery meeting, and that's where it's at. I was going to take a look at it and forward it to Chief Dumas. So there is something that's available to us.
It's kind of ready-made for
Ready,
this,
and it's
this kind of a
Exactly
situation.
for what the situation that we're doing, so that you can keep a communication system
Right.
up and running. I'm going to go down and take a look at it, and he's going to try to figure out where on the site that it might be able to be fit. And not knowing when we're going to be doing it and how long it's going to be, I couldn't tell you how much
Right.
it's going to be, but it's, for the sake of this discussion right now, figure about $105 a day. Might be higher, might be lower.
Yeah, I think I saw it over at the Wilmington.
Yeah,
when we went
there's a
over for
couple
the
of them,
demonstration.
and there's-
And it's a pretty neat unit.
Yeah.
It's all set up, just roll it in and they're ready to go.
What, Greg, how long are we anticipating? And I know I'm not trying to tie you down, but are we talking a month or 2 months or
Probably a couple months away.
a couple of months?
Well,
No, but I mean, a couple of months away, but then how long
Yes.
will it take for the construction period?
60 days, probably
60
another 2
days.
months after that.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, the pivotal issue is how long it's going to take them, once we pull the trigger on the equipment, to get it here.
Okay,
Well, there are two dates. There's when the purchased equipment will arrive and can start being assembled. The other issue, I think, I have it written down in the notes, what Castagna is planning to start renovations, I believe. What did he say? Do you recall? I forget. I have it in my notes. Probably in the next 60 days, well, beyond 60 days, this coming fall, they will probably start in earnest to do the renovations in the existing portion of the building. The way this would work ideally, and the way the strategy for the construction is that we want to move the police department into the new addition so that they can operate out of it, freeing up the existing building for Castagna to come in and do the renovations that are required in there. We'd like not to have those renovations going on while they're actually using that building. It's
Right.
going to be a bear. Particularly dispatch, obviously. So ideally, if we can pull dispatch out when they move to the new building, put them in a trailer and give them the whole existing building to do everything they need to do, including installing the new dispatch consoles, that would be ideal. And that's kind of what we're going to be working on now. The good news is that we checked the drawings, and as far as the dispatch area itself, the only additional cost that we see at this point for getting the dispatch area in the existing building ready for the new equipment is carpeting. Everything else is included under the original scope. We've got new lighting, we've got new electrical, we've got the building, we're relocating walls, everything's being painted. All the stuff that whole area is basically being finished except for carpet.
okay.
Because
Are we adding circuits, Greg,
Yeah.
to the new positions?
we are.
Okay.
We've got like 4 quads that we're putting in there. And I think that the reason we didn't have carpet in there is because if we weren't going to touch dispatch, we didn't want to have them putting carpet in around
Right,
dispatchers
what's
trying to
already
do
the old
stuff.
stuff is there.
That's the short. So it's going to be minor work to
Okay.
prepare the building for the new stuff.
Well, it sounds like if the bids, or the estimates you got for the overall 251 or 228 or whatever the other one might be, we've obviously got, those come in really good. So we got some room to play for some of these other things that need to be done.
And there will be other things. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
this
sure,
is-
yeah.
Once we get into it, additional monitors, we have about $25,000 in fire stuff that needs to happen. That would be part of this. Not necessarily in this room, but it would be part of the overall system. It would go over the watch room at the fire station. So,
But my other question in regards to this is, normally we don't go into a new building until we go and do the checklists and all the other, how does that work now in terms of if we move I'm assuming like the chief's office and some of that office space, because we'll still need to be able to, we'll have to use the cell block and And that stuff in the old building.
Correct.
So in the new, so how does that work in terms of accepting, or how does the liability work? Or in other words, if the police are working out of the new building, does that come under our insurance, or do we end up, using the builder's risk insurance, which
The
we,
builder's risk is going to be in
Force
place.
For the whole project.
Yeah,
so they're accepting, they understand that we will be using, I just don't want to run into a problem later on, of, well, wait a minute, what are they doing working in here? Or if we run into some issues of something wasn't built right, or, some issues that you run into when you go into a new building.
there's going to be a substantial completion.
It's always,
Point,
it's
right?
always been
I
an
mean-
occupied renovation.
Okay,
Part
so,
of it's not changing.
okay, I'm just want to make sure that we're, from the town side, that we're.
Yeah, I think
we're
this has all
covered.
been addressed a long
Okay.
time ago, right?
As far as insurance, we can verify that, but I don't think
Okay.
that's.
I mean,
gonna be
we
a
can
problem.
certainly
We're covered.
let our carrier know, but I think we already planned that.
Good.
You
All
do,
right.
you do mention one tricky part, though, and it shouldn't be a big deal, but normally, you get substantial completion, which is beneficial occupancy. You move in. Normally, after that point, you're doing your punch list, your touch-ups and, fix the hole in the wall, that sort of thing, not usually minor stuff. If you move into one area and use it and then move out of that area, just by virtue of the fact that you're doing that is disruptive. And I know we're going to have a discussion with the contractor about the ding in the wall. Did it happen? Was it perfect when you moved in and now you dinged it and now we have to fix it again? There may be some of that, but in all likelihood, it's probably just
Okay.
minor stuff. It's just, and they're going to have plenty of work to touch up anyhow, so.
Right. Very good.
Just
Yeah, I just want to make sure we don't run into a last minute hitch with something like that. I know we talked about it quite a while back, but,
The only thing I'm thinking of in terms of insurance, so if we get this trailer, what the agreement is going to be, if there's going to be a rental agreement with NARAC,
There'll be a rental.
and then we may have to look at insurance for that. I'm sure they're going to require something
Yeah,
like that,
I'll
so,
find that out
Yep.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Actually, Chia works at Ken's office, works down there on her day she's not working here, so
okay.
we have a good conduit of
Oh, all right, that's great.
information.
No, that's good.
So that's how I found out about this, was through her.
Oh, all right.
So I knew they had some kind of radio equipment down
Yeah.
there, but the trailer is,
Now, have you talked to Chief Dubus? If you guys.
told him about it. We were kind of looking at different places to try to find something that would work. We went to look at ours. The roof has been leaking
Yeah, no.
and it's not gonna work. It wouldn't have worked even if everything was perfect on
Right,
it.
right.
It's too small. But this is set up for what we,
Exactly what we're
needed to
looking
do.
for. Okay.
Yeah,
and I will
it's
get all the particulars.
Yep. Well, I'm sure there's a rental package, so
Yeah,
when you
there's a
get that,
whole-
we'll specify whatever
Yeah.
we need to do.
And just make sure that you and the police chief are in the complete agreement that this is what will work. And then along with
He's
Greg.
driving the truck on this one. I'm
Okay.
supporting it.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I just don't want
Yeah,
to, we come in and then
he'll
say, oh,
be-
wait a minute, I didn't really want that, I wanted this, or
Yeah,
something like that.
I want to take them down there to look at
Okay.
it before we sign anything. The thing is that there's stuff out there. We've got a couple other places that we're looking at too.
Okay.
But this one is close by and may be the best thing.
Might be the best rates too, if it's
Yeah.
part of that consortium that deals with that kind of stuff, so, nope, that's fine. All right, anything else on that? Are you satisfied, chief, with the way fire department's progressing over there in terms of,
We had a building construction class over there last Thursday after being cleared with Castagna, and very happy with what we're seeing so far.
okay,
Just can't wait.
no, I'm sure. But for you guys, it's only gonna get better no matter what else might
The one
happen.
thing is that if you come into my office and I'm not there, look in the closet, because that's probably where I'm most comfortable.
We'll cut your desk in half,
Yeah,
the
I'll
new
nail it
desk,
to the
right?
wall.
And we did not put the extra stairway in the training tower because of the cost. We talked about that, we kicked that around, and we basically agreed that we wouldn't do that. Other than that little cupola that sits on top of the training tower,
Yes.
is that got a purpose, or is it just, architecturally, it looks nice.
Architecturally, it looks
And the other thing too is it allows us to be able to ladder the side of the building,
Right,
and not do any damage.
okay,
There's so a place for them to get up.
yeah, okay. Oh, it looks nice, the whole place really,
Plus, it kind of looked like, a fire bell
yeah,
type.
yeah, no, it'd be good for
It
that.
just kind of looked a little nicer. I
And we
thought.
can put a bell up there, actually, if you.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Put the old fire horn from the roof of this building?
Funny you should say that. We'll leave that alone.
Yeah, I think so. No, the building looks good. In fact, I noticed they put I guess yesterday or this morning, they put windows in the fire station part of the building, so it matches up with the police, so
Trim
it's
it up.
really coming along good. I noticed they're putting the siding on the police station, they started that, putting the trim up on the firehouse, so it's coming along really good. And they've been kind of a skeleton crew up there, so I imagine when this couple of weeks here, when a lot of people are on vacation and stuff, it should really start to pick up, so.
Wrestling with that.
Oh, it looks good. All right, review the project budget and project timeline.
So we circulated a copy of our most recent budget update that is current through bills received through June 30th. So I think the biggest change that you would see is under potential liabilities in the construction section. We've accounted for the $400,000 that we had allocated for the dispatch center renovations.
Mm-hmm.
So we pulled that from the contingency, and we're tracking it under construction right now. So eventually that will get dispersed. There'll be a technology piece of it. There'll be a very small construction change order, but we wanted to pull that out of the contingency so that it was earmarked to be expended. So
Right.
other than that, we're still on budget. We're still with that reduction of $400,000 from the contingency. We're still showing $830,000+ unallocated at this point in time, and we're just a little under 30% complete on costs incurred. So everything is trending in the right direction.
Moving along good, all right. But it appears as though the timeline is still 1st of January for the police department, or actually, they're gonna be in there before then anyway, but.
We hope so. We are, it seems to be tracking pretty close to.
Yeah, I think they
to
said
the
they were catching
schedule.
up a little bit on some of the delays from the weather that we had
Certainly
early
weather has
in the
cooperated.
project. Yeah, the weather's been great, so,
We will have an updated schedule from them next week,
Next week.
so we'll be
Okay.
able to see where they are exactly.
okay, good. We got anything else? Anybody got anything else they wanna?
So were we going to discuss the ad for the Tel Data?
Change orders?
For the who?
The Tel Data boxes and infrastructure, we talked in the job meeting 2 weeks ago, and the price came in, I think it was 35, 36?
$32,091. $32,000. Let me pass this out. This is our current change order log.
We'll cover this under the project budget.
Okay. The upper part of this chart, the stuff in yellow are items that are pending. The items that are in white have been previously approved. And if you look at the current totals, we have basically approved $12,380 worth of change orders.
Okay,
The total in yellow is all the stuff that is out there that is technically not approved, is pending, is under review, may have been approved or not approved, and I'll just walk you through those real quickly. Some of these things are out there because we're just still kind of arm wrestling over some of the arithmetic on the change orders.
mm-hmm,
Door and frame changes, we'll probably approve that today. I'm sorry, I'll take credit for the deletion of the projection screens. That's probably a good number. That's a revised number.
Just one quick question on that one. Now, Chief, you and the Chief Dumas both decided you didn't want the projector screens?
Right, we just have a large.
Just gonna have a large
TV.
60-inch TV or whatever the size is adequate to
Right.
to do what you
Yes,
wanna
it's,
do.
it's easy to see in all lighting conditions where a
Okay.
projection, if it's too light, you don't really see well, and if,
Plus, you can move those around if you need to move it
yeah, I
somewhat.
mean,
Somewhat.
yeah.
Well, they're bolted to the wall.
They're bolted
Oh,
to
they're
the
bolted to the wall?
but,
Okay.
It's just a better.
Works out better for, you're both in favor of it, so it's
Yes.
something that seemed to be a good idea,
72
okay?
or 72 or
72,
84, they're
yeah.
big, they're big.
They're big,
Okay.
and they're easier to look at.
Right, right.
in
All right, no,
lighting
that's
conditions.
fine. It's just a matter of explanation, that's all.
We changed some light fixtures around. We made there were some door and frame changes as a result of the shop drawing review. That's just a number that we have to kind of finalize. We're
Mhm.
having trouble getting some detail on what things are actually costing and what credits we're supposed to be getting, so I have to verify that. We added that additional window.
Yep.
Number 14. PCO 18. Gear grid lockers. We have a price in to furnish and install the lockers in the, this is for the turnout gear in the apparatus room in the fire station. These are
Okay.
the special lockers for the turnout gear. We have a price with Castagna of $25,000 to do that. We're looking to buy it off a state bid list, or we're just verifying that the bid list that they're on qualifies as something that you could use in Massachusetts as buying off the state bid list.
Okay.
Is that's
Yeah,
accurate?
I've had discussions with the AG's office. She has referred me to the IG's office, which handles procurements under state bid. So I'm just waiting to get the green light from them.
Okay, so we can probably just,
How many of those are we do?
how
many- how did-
40 of
I
them?
believe 40 is
40.
what we're
40 to
planning
40,
on.
yeah.
Okay.
They're quite nice. They're kind of a powder coated mesh affair that,
Right, in other words, it air circulates and the
Correct.
equipment is wet or damp or whether it's sweaty or...
Yeah.
it circulates and cleans it all
not get
out.
musty and.
Okay. Now, just one question, now, was there an allowance in this is an addition over and above what we estimated in the original, or is this part of the allowance that,
We carried lockers under FF&E, I believe.
yeah, we had an allowance for this.
so part of that, this might be covered by that
There should be a
allowance?
transfer
Okay,
between budgets depending on how they're purchased.
right, okay.
The electrical revisions, that's, again, that's kind of a long story, but that was based on a further review of the technology, the internal technology system that we talked about. That's 30, did I say 32? It's 38,000, I apologize. The training tower stair changes was 32,000. And we just got a change order in to replace the bulkhead, and we asked for a change order. In the building, in our documents, again, trying to save money when we went out to bid, we kept a number of the existing doors. And because we're building all new, we asked for a change order to actually replace the doors with new doors inside. They're like maybe a half dozen doors.
Okay.
That's included as part
So
of
it
that
looks
change.
all, you're not gonna have an old door and a new wall type
Exactly.
thing.
And,
So the training tower, we agreed that we're gonna nix that, right?
That was the direction we got, yeah.
Okay. Now, the electrical and tech revisions, that's all for the...
That would need your approval.
Okay.
And the gear grid lockers, again, we're honing in on a number for that, so. So, all total, all that comes up to $107,000, $108,000. Obviously, 32 of that is the stair changes, and so it's going to be somewhat less than that number
Right.
as far as what's pending.
So are you looking for us today to okay the electrical and tech revisions? Is that something we
Yeah.
should be doing so that you can go ahead and move ahead on that?
We issued the work as a CCD, so the contractor is proceeding, but the
I see.
value,
What's a CCT?
contract change directive.
Okay.
What that is, that says, we know we need to do it, you know, we want you to move forward, not to exceed $38,000.
$298, or $38,298.
Right. But we haven't approved the whole amount yet, and subject to, you know,
All right.
the,
Because I just soon, if we need to do that, I just soon do it.
Right.
And then if you guys can cut the prices down a little bit, that's all well and good, but I don't want to get held up.
No,
So,
right.
any questions, Joe, you okay with,
I'm okay with it.
Debbie, you okay with that? Mm-hmm. Chief, you okay with that? Yep. So I'm take a motion to approve the $38,298 as the
exceed.
maximum
Yeah.
price?
Not to exceed.
Not to
Not to
exceed.
exceed. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Yeah, because we just don't want to run into a wall. All of a sudden, we got to have an emergency meeting because we didn't okay something. It's over 30,000.
Is 30 the limit that we?
Yeah, did we say
I couldn't
25 or
remember if it was
30?
25 or 30. The only thing I'm looking
It
at
might be
is
25. I think it's 25,
is the
actually.
gear grid lockers are just slightly over the $25,000 threshold. But I
Alright.
think they fall into the same category
if-
as the IT changes.
You
It's
got any
not like we're
questions on
not
those,
gonna
Joe?
get
No.
them.
All right, if we have no questions,
So
I'll
if
take a
this-
motion
we
to
could do
approve
a
that
not
just
to
to make
exceed
sure
as
we're
well.
covered.
not to
Not
exceed.
to
Not to
exceed.
exceed. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, those are things we don't want to get caught up with all of a sudden that it's being held up or an issue.
And in the blue down below, I think that's blue, I'm colorblind, so it's
Yeah, it
blue or
looks
purple.
bluish gray. Blue.
We'll
Close
go with
enough.
flu.
Okay. I just, as an allowance, I'm figuring you probably have $10,000 worth of paving at Smith Lane.
Okay,
This is
yeah.
just, this is just a
Yeah,
guess.
just a guesstimate.
Dispatch renovations, that's just the carpeting, so that number's high. Police and fire lockers, these are the rest of the lockers, the wardrobe lockers in the building.
So just to verify on the locker, so in other words, in the fire,
The locker room.
well, we have the
We have a
gear grid is gonna be in where the engines are.
Right, and
And then
these
the-
are in the male and female locker rooms.
Locker
So how many are you planning on? Do you know offhand?
I guess whatever the.
I don't recall what we said in the
I'm
beginning.
not sure.
But it's an adequate number for,
Yeah,
It's,
we'd have
cover
to,
as an
well, it's gotta
expansion.
be based on the size of the room, and
right.
I don't know.
I want to say there's like 60 total, something like that.
Okay,
Fire and police.
But between the two buildings. Okay, because
It's a lot of lockers.
we know at some point they're gonna be expanding manpower along the way here. Hopefully not in my lifetime.
Well, you know,
We
it's
never know.
funny.
It's getting tougher all the time with, especially fire issues. They're becoming
It's
more
nice,
more intricate.
even if you have call people or auxiliary people,
Yeah.
like in a locker, sometimes police or even, fire, you have a dive team, they have a second locker for
Yeah.
their stuff, so
No, we want to have expansion, and of course, these guys are used to just piling stuff on the floor, I guess, right?
Yeah,
It's,
well,
at a corner somewhere, or in their own cars, or whatever.
in cars, but this allows us, even with the call guys, if not going full-time, is we get a fire, we have a chance of changing our clothes, we're not bringing it home with us.
Right.
Right.
And this allows us an area to have
Yeah,
a
no,
spare set
definitely.
of clothing, which I wish I had some days.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because,
Well, you get these hot days. it's gonna be rough.
hot days or bad calls,
Bad calls.
and your stuff gets all contaminated.
Yeah.
We have no way to change it
Right.
right now.
Okay.
Plim event system we're putting out to bid. We finalized that scope last week. Again, that's just an allowance.
Right.
Dispatch, we've allowed 400,000 for that. I have two there, but that's that number.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay, so.
Right now, we're up to maybe 300 between fire and police. So-
Okay, well, that's good.
So that's a snapshot of our changes. Jim, Neil, you probably have a bunch of other stuff too.
No, I was just gonna note, just for the record, that the police and fire lockers, as well as the Plymouth event, I believe we had covered allowances for those within the FF&E and technology line item, so those should not be contingency
Right, okay.
detractors unless pricing comes in higher than
Higher,
expected.
and just be a little small amount, relatively small
Right.
amount. All right, anybody got any questions on these items? Chief, you're all set?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? We got minutes from
Yep.
December 19th. Look fine to me.
I move we approve the minutes for December 19th.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, they're official. And with that, set the next meeting date. We want to set up a meeting, we want to just
That's all right.
kind of see where we stand, and we'll, like we did this time, we kind of went along, and then when we saw the need for a meeting, we had one. Is that all right with everybody?
That's fine.
Yep.
All right, so we'll just leave it open. Joe, is that okay with
Yep,
you?
it's okay.
All right.
Sorry I missed that Walker.
What?
The walk, that Thursday night.
Oh, yeah. It was good. It helped a lot of my young guys understand how buildings are built. Because it had everything that we talked about.
Good. Well, it should be a huge upgrade for,
Yep.
you know, the police departments. Well, once they get their dispatch center, that'll make a huge difference for them. The rest of it's office space and ability to, with the trailers, they had a lot of office space anyway, but just, for you guys, it's gonna be like a whole different
With the
world.
GPS
You might not
versus-
even want to retire, you might want to stay on another 20 years. All right, anything else? Otherwise, I'll take
65, whether I want.
a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Big bronze.
Thank you very much.
Oh.